Welcome to day 4, Ritualize Our Life, Ritualize Your Life Challenge, 36 days. This is day 4. Welcome back, everyone. Hi, Erin. Hello, Mora. Hello, Wild Spirit and Catherine. I'm Sharada. For those that are gonna catch me for the first time, I'm gonna be your host and guide for this next coming days and introduce the 36 steps towards ritualizing your whole life. Welcome, Ecstatica, Avadhuta Pai. Hey, Jack. And 36 days, we can ritual in 36 days. We learn each step, one step at a time. And when we put them all together, you basically have 36 little rituals, mantras, gestures that you can apply also in other actions. You'll see how these steps that I'm introducing and the mantras and the gesture, how you can also apply them in other situations. And so we ritualize our whole life by ritualizing one day at a time. And one day starts with the morning, before we wake up, all the way until we go to bed. And so we have seen up to now, we have seen 3 steps. Step number 1 was the step of recognizing our existence, recognizing our limitless existence with the mantra Anandoham. Om Teo, welcome back. Full dedication. Om Erle. Some of you have been with me every day. I see you, I feel you. We're doing this together. The second step was Yoga Kshema iti prana panayoha. Welcome, Philippa, a mystical Isak, dedicated to bringing our awareness and acknowledgement and gratitude to the inhalation and the exhalation. And this one also, it's so great to apply it throughout the day, recognizing the infinite blessing of the ability to breathe, that we are alive. Step 3. Yesterday was a little bit a longer mantra. Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule Sthita Gauri, Prabhate Karadarshanam. So this was the step 3, where after acknowledging the breath, we're acknowledging our capacity of actions, our karmas. And we're asking the universe to sanctify all our actions as we look. Welcome, Liquid, Cosmos, and Alexandra. Welcome, welcome. We look at our hands to sanctify our actions. What does sanctify mean? It means that we apply these 2 attitudes. The attitude of Ishvara Arpana Buddhi means the attitude that may all my actions be an offering to the universe. That attitude helps me to become a contributor. So our goal is to convert from a competitor into a contributor. Remembering we all grew up in a competitive society, which is very hurtful, very harmful. There's so much himsa, harm. We're afraid of each other. We don't trust each other. That is because of misplaced values. And the Veda helps us to understand the value. Hello, hello. Hello, Alexandra. Helps us to understand and develop again a value for universal values. And so a universal value is a value that applies to all people at all times, all gender, all race. It's a universal value. We call it Sanatana Dharma. And so I like the value of becoming a contributor. Because you don't want that I take something away from you. I don't want that you take something away from me. And so with that understanding that we both want to grow, we both want to bloom, we both want to expand, don't we? We all want to expand. That's our natural desire. The desire for growth, the desire for expansion, and ultimately the desire for freedom. So we have so much in common, and the Veda helps us to pay attention to the things that we have in common. It is not here to separate us. It is here to help us see that the idea and notion of separation is wrong, and the truth of you and me is that we are one being, one non-dual being. That's the truth. And this truth is what liberates us. And so the Ritualise Our Life challenge helps us to apply, adapt the attitude that will help us abide in this ultimate truth of oneness. And so the attitude that helps us to abide in that truth is becoming a contributor. And so our actions are huge. So I'm wondering, how was it first? I saw some of you commented in the post that I posted, and some of you maybe haven't shared. If you want, you can share with me. Did you notice any difference when you did this ritual today? Looking at your hands and superimposing the great infallible mother, she who gives unconditionally, she who loves unconditionally. We placed her at the base of the hand. Then Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. So may all our actions come from knowledge, with reverence, knowing that everything I do, I'm able to do it because I was gifted, and these gifts were given from the universe. I give back. And then may all my actions be prosperous. May all my actions bring wealth and prosperity and abundance to all beings. And so we place Lakshmi on the tip of our fingers. And so let me know in the chat if you want, in the comments, if you notice any shifts. And the shifts might be very subtle, and you'll notice them more and more and more if you do it every day. It's the repetition, the abhyasa. Abhyasa means the practice, the repetition that will give fruits, that will give phalam. And so then this action right now is a practice. And then the practice will turn into a habit. And then the habit will turn into a way of living. And then that way of living is your second nature. Then you're not a practitioner anymore. It's just what you are. You're a contributor. You cannot but give back. Welcome, Katarina. Welcome, Marianna. Welcome, Kate. So nice to have you all here. And Angela, Dektara. So please let me know in the comment your insights, your takeaways, your questions. I love to hear from you. So Ishvara Arpana Buddhi is one attitude side. And the other attitude of action, of living a life, of being a contributor and using our actions in a way so that it benefits all beings. First, this attitude of let my actions be an offering to the universe. And then the Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, the attitude, may all the result that comes from the universe, may I be able to receive it with glad acceptance. Pleasurable and painful. That's a big one. Kali Prasada Prasada Buddhi, Ishvara Prasada Buddhi, this attitude of glad acceptance, even if it's painful, but it's exactly what I need in order to grow. And so remember that every single day before you go out of the day, because when you do that, it doesn't matter anymore what you do. It matters how you do things. It's the action, it doesn't matter, as long as it's within universal values, of course, and dharma. But what really matters is how I'm able to respond to the stimulus that comes in through my 5 sense organs, the prasadam. Am I able to respond, or do I react? A person that is still a little bit immature, or very much immature, will react. It should be like this, it shouldn't be like this. As long as it's the way I want it, I'm all free. And as soon as things don't go the way I want them, watch out. That is no freedom at all. So I'm bound to my own desires, I'm bound to my own actions. And what does that mean? I have given my power away. You have given your power away. To what? To the world. You've given your power to your husband, to your wife, to your mom, to your dad, to your children, to the president, to the weather, to the house, to your job, to your food. We have given our power away by projecting our happiness and security and love onto something other than ourselves. I say that again. We have projected our security, our happiness, our love, including our freedom, onto something other or someone other, something or someone other than ourselves. That's why we feel so powerless. And so when you apply this attitude of prasada buddhihi, when you do that in the morning, you're starting to reclaim your power again. By stop projecting your happiness and security and love onto something other than ourselves, other than yourself. They do not have the capacity to make you whole. No being, no object, no situation, no money, no fame, no career, nothing can make you whole. Nothing. The world is not here to make you whole. You are already whole here and now. That has to sink in. It has to sink into your bones. It has to sink into my bones. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifetime. So it's that attitude that will free us. It will free us because then I see where have I projected my happiness, my security onto something other than myself. Oh, here I'm getting angry. And this anger right now, yes, it's given by the universe. Now I can face my pain. Now I can reclaim my power. Hallelujah. And you bow in front of this or that or them who triggered you. So, I want to see what you're writing here. Theo is saying, I noticed this beautiful universal abundance when I offered my neighbor some food I had made. Yes, that's beautiful. That's one of the Panchamahayagnyas, the sacred daily offerings, serving food. She was very grateful, and then later she stopped by with some fresh vegetables and plant care powder. So beautiful. We give and things come back. Kate says, did the hand mantra this morning along with the other ones. Today I'm fixing lunch, and for the first time I can ever remember thinking, I thought I am preparing lunch for Ma Devi. That's so beautiful. Yes, you are. Such a beautiful thought, especially since I have struggled with food and appetite so much in my life. Yes. And there's more coming when we do the Annapurneshwari, ritualizing the food. That was very healing. Hello Ven, hello Jess, Kate. Mentally, I've been flooded with so many ideas. Lots of inspiration, especially around communication. Period came early today, 22 day cycle, so no mala beats this morning. Good, just resting. Beautiful. We're going to talk about menstruation today. So beautiful. Welcome Anna Victoria, Anna Malin, Lina. Wow, so many of you. Marianna, it takes also so much humbleness to take in that attitude. The world is not here to make me happy or make me whole. Yes. It's a big one. Right? Because everyone expects everyone to make us happy. And that's what we also have been taught. We've been taught that the world is here to make us happy, to make us whole, to complete us. We learned that from very early onward, watching Cinderella, and then Prince Charming is going to come, Rapunzel, and he's going to save me, and I will be happy, married forever and ever and ever. Right? So in the Western unhealthy myths, the marriage, the baby, the career is all an end, the end. But in the Vedic tradition, all of that, the marriage, the movie would be the beginning. That is when life begins, when we start to relate to the world and we see it does not go the way I want it. And then that's my wake-up call. And so that's why we're going into becoming a contributor, and we learn from nature, we learn from the world, we learn from the space and the air and the fire, the sun. We see from nature, everyone is giving back. Erle, thank you for this essential sacred reminder. Yes. So this essential sacred reminder, like this one, that's why we do it every day. You look at your hand and you remind yourself every day before going out. And this is why we sanctify all our actions. I'm so glad you're sharing this, Devi. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Greetings, love from Sandra Osman. Wonderful. Hello, Sanas. So beautiful. So touching to share this with you, and that we can together revel and contemplate about this universal truth. It's very rare that we get to spend time and spend time in this truth and see where we see things not in the way that we are supposed to see them. And so when I apply this attitude, what does it give me? It starts to give me objectivity. It's called vairagyam. Viragaha. Ragaha means a very strong like. Viraga, the dissolution of the strong likes and dislikes. And this vairagyam is very important. It's crucial. It's fundamental for the attitude that helps me to abide in the truth of my existence that is whole and complete. So life is here to help me grow, mature, and develop this attitude of objectivity. It's called vairagyam. Seeing things as they are. Not seeing things through my likes and dislikes, through my subjective glasses, which most people do. It's very important that we start to see things as they are, objectively. And when I see things as objectively, then I can start to respond, and I grow emotionally, and that will lead me then to freedom eventually. So, vairagyam, very important attitude to develop throughout the day. So, the vairagyam I gain through my actions. So my life, I dedicate my life towards an offering to the universe so that I can gain objectivity, to see things clearly as they are, so I can grow out of believing that the world is here to complement me, and I regain my power, basically. That is the sanctification of all our actions. Tongues, viradya, spelled like this, no, vairagyam, vairagyam. Let's see if I can, vairagyam, like this, vairagyam. It's one of the qualifications is required to gain freedom, absolute freedom, which is already an accomplished fact, praptasya praptihi, but because we still identify with this body, mind, sense temple, we first get to prepare ourselves. And so the Veda says, make your life into an offering. And in Bali, this is really lived. It's practice, it's lived. It's not practice anymore, it's lived. They live their life as an offering. Bali, that this is where I've lived for the last 16 years. I've had the privilege to live in Bali. And Bali in Sanskrit means Bali. And Bali means an offering. So the name of this island, we also call it the island of the gods and goddesses, the islands of the temples. There are more temples than houses. It is called Bali, an offering. And so the whole island is in a constant offering. The moment you step foot on Bali and you have a little bit of sensitivity, which you all have, otherwise you wouldn't be here, you will feel that bhava, that attitude of contribution. Like they wake up in morning early, do their offerings. Sometimes they do the offerings all night long and wake up and do a little offering for Bhuta, the earth beings, and then the middle beings, the higher beings, the devas, and then at lunch, and then in the evening, and for special occasion, full moon, new moon, Galungan, Kuningan, for Dharma. So many offerings, and they're really participating in the mystique. And when you live in a culture like that, or come for a few weeks, and I just paid the deposit for my priestess initiation training in Bali that I already run 5 or 6 times in Bali, where I initiate folks, people, humans, those that identify with being a woman. This is for those that identify with being a woman or are women. And then I have other programs that are for men, women, non-binary, like the ones in Portugal and in Sweden. But the one in Bali is where I'm taking you through an initiation from birth to death in this culture of contribution, where life is seen as sacred. And so, like, coming to Bali and spending some time there, you melt. It just starts to melt your defense, offense, armors, and you start to, by osmosis, just being there in that culture, you adapt naturally this attitude, especially when we have some understanding of what is going on, even faster. So that is some of the benefits and so many more of sanctify our action. So that was step number 3. So now we're going to go to step number 4, step number 4 of sanctifying our whole life, ritualizing our life, ritualizing our day. And step 4 is maybe a little bit unusual. And some of you, maybe some men are here, I'm not sure. And you may think, oh, this does not apply to me. Yet I invite you to stay with me and see how it may also apply to you, because knowing this can very well benefit you and your partner if you are together with a woman. Or if you're not together with a woman, maybe you have a sister, and then you can tell them about this step number 4. And so what is the step number 4? Now you're all wondering, no? What it is. So I added this specifically, and it's the step of taking your temperature. Taking your temperature. Why would we take our temperature? Somebody knows? We're taking our temperature to know if we are fertile or infertile. So there is the knowledge of the sacred blood or womb wisdom, or also in a more modern language, we call it natural fertility awareness. Or like Theo says, fertility tracking. Yes, Hanne, hello, ovulating, exactly. So we actually can know, because of our temperature and because of our mucus, those that have a vulva, we can know based on our temperature and based on our mucus if we are fertile or infertile. What does fertility or infertile means? In other words, if we're able to have babies or if we're able to not have babies. If we're able to have babies or if we are not able to conceive a baby. And so most of us, like myself, when I was 13 years old and I got my period, my initiation was the pill. And I didn't take the pill very long. It didn't feel good in my body, and some previous samskara impression, maybe from past life or so, told me, stop this pill, it's not good for you. And also I met, when I was very young, a very dear friend, Vera, and she knew all these things already. She was very young and she became like my role model. I went to India with her for the first time, and she already knew about natural fertility awareness. And so she told me, you don't need to take the pill. You can just check your temperature and you can check your mucus, you can check the position of your cervix, and then you will know if you're fertile or infertile. And she told me this at a very young age, and at that time I received it, but I didn't actually jump into it at that time. I just like, okay, yeah. And then she did it, and welcome. She was doing it already, and she also had more intimacy than me at that time, even though I had a lot also, actually. But that's a whole other story. But basically, she was also quite 6, 7, 8 years older than myself, so she was way more experienced than me. So basically, at that time, I did stop my pill because she told me, like, when you take the pill, you actually it's not good for your body. She probably told me that I don't ovulate. I don't remember this right now. I remembered all of that when I actually studied natural fertility awareness with Disa Mineur, most incredible holistic reproductive coach. And I have invited her to join me because there's one more step where we go into mucus, and I invited her to join me for the live and tell you all about it because she's an expert. So I studied with her this natural fertility awareness for a long time, like a year, and I did it with her, and it really changed my life, understanding that I can know if I'm fertile or not just through my temperature, through my mucus, and it also helped to release a lot of shame. And when I was young, I did stop the pill, and somehow, with the grace of God, I didn't get pregnant. That would not have been good for me at that time as a young woman. There was a lot of pain in me, and so I was blessed in that sense. So I didn't take the pill very long, for a short time, and I know so many women who have taken the pill for a very long time, sometimes over 10 years or even longer. And there's so many women and men who actually do not know the side effects of taking a pill. And this is not in any way to advocate telling you or anyone that you should never ever take the pill. There's always exception to the rules. And it's very important that we make an informed choice based on our background, on our situation. We all have different background, different situation, different circumstances. Yet it's very important to know what are the possibilities. And so there are so many more ways to have contraception than just the pill. There are so many other ways. And so not going to go too deep, but one of them, the natural contraception, is natural fertility awareness. In that system, there are many systems. The one that I learned is the justice method. And so in the justice method, you check your mucus every single day, and we're going to go in that in step number 7, actually. Day number 7, it's going to come. You check your temperature, and then you can check the position of your cervix. You need not, but you can. But it's actually beautiful to see how your cervix changes. And so the men that are listening today, it's so beautiful for you also to know, because then when you know, you can, maybe if you have a partner, or a sister, or mother, you can teach them. Like my partner, when I had a partner, we studied natural fertility awareness together. Yusuf and I, who is my previous partner, we did the course together with Disa. For 1 year, we took private classes with her, and we did the course. So I learned while he was learning, and we were learning together. And then he supported me to take the temperature every morning, to chart my mucus. It was also quite a task, because there you check your mucus every time before you go to the toilet. And at the beginning it feels like a huge thing, but then with the time it becomes natural. It becomes a way of life. And so he knew about it, and then we both knew when we are, because it's us together, right? When we are fertile and when we are infertile. And so in the days that we are infertile, which is after the temperature has risen, after 3 days the temperature has risen, after the 3rd day in the evening or the next day, then the infertile phase comes. And in those days you can make love as much as you want and need not worry about getting pregnant. Isn't that wonderful? So, and before we are very fertile, and then we can take extra precaution. Then we can use different methods. So basically, so that's why I'm telling you also, the men that are watching, like, it's so wonderful to know, and it empowers you, it empowers your partner, and as a couple. And I know, for example, Yusuf, then he would sometimes even teach other women, or to share at least, like, did you know? And it's so wonderful that we all know about this. And we all knew about this. I'm sure that we all knew about this before we took away a lot of this wisdom, this natural wisdom, like the natural herbal remedies. Natural herbal remedies were our medicine. But there was a time, not so long time ago, where we would get burned at the stake for using natural remedies. Those that were burned were called witches. And that was not so long time ago. And there were millions of women killed for using natural remedies. And so a lot of this knowledge has been forgotten or even lost, but a lot of it is coming back. So there are many incredible women now. I only know women who are teaching, really teaching this, reproductive holistic care coaches. And so you can find them also in your area. I can give you the contact of Disa, and I will also invite her to join me in the live, and you can learn about this. We also teach about this in Davies School in the Herring Journey. We teach about, and Disa is part of the faculty. We teach natural fertility awareness, but more the baseline, not like the in-depth. For that you go to her. So basically, here's a question. The temperature has to be taken at the exact same time every day, right? Yes. So that's what the justice method says, that we are to take it every day at the same time. So it is like it is a ritual. It is a commitment. And it says that you're supposed to take it before you go out of the bed. That's why I put it on step 4 after sanctifying the actions, because then I also sanctify the lovemaking. I'm going to talk about that. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. SEX, that word I cannot say, otherwise I'm going to get banned. But lovemaking, like so many of us, we have done it and are still doing it occasionally, unconsciously. We're not sanctifying that action. Suddenly we get pregnant. That need not be. we are using it as an escape instead of it being one of the most sacred acts, which has the power to heal, to empower, to create babies, yes, but also to manifest our dreams, our dreams, basically. So in this way, when we sanctify the temperature, right, and we really know when I'm fertile or infertile, I'm much more alert, and I can then sanctify the SEX lovemaking as well. And I'm aware, and I'm not just suddenly then finding myself pregnant and then needing to abort, which it can still happen. Like, it can still happen, and there's no shame in any way. We do not need to guilt trip ourselves or feel ashamed, but we probably will, because that's how deeply ingrained it is in us. So yet with an awareness and with this conscious action, we can avoid a lot of that. And then if it still happens, like, it happens, it really was meant to happen, and then there's a different relationship to it, a different acceptance. It's the gift that was given to me, and then I can still make an informed choice. And there's a lot to say about abortion, which we're not going to go into it right now. So basically, yes, I put this step after actions because we're sanctifying the action. In this way, we're sanctifying our temperature. We're sanctifying the act of then making love. And often, right, many people make love just in the morning or at night. Like, it becomes like one thing to do in the morning or at night, and that's very beautiful. But it's also very beautiful to really take time, make a ritual out of it, prepare for it, and I'll speak more about that when we come to that step. So basically, Hanna is saying it's so inspiring to hear this collective responsibility in sacred lovemaking, commitment. Yes, it is a collective responsibility. Again, for so many, it's only the women. We think it's only our responsibility, but it's not. It's equally the responsibility of the male person, the person that has a lingam. It's exactly the same responsibility. And so I know men, I have brothers, they say they do not make love unless they're ready to have a child with that person. That's big. I feel that's very big. I really admire that. And so it is a collective responsibility, and we have given this knowledge, natural fertility awareness, where we have this knowledge. We can get to know our body in such a profound way, where this body then truly is our instrument and can serve us to the highest good. And that's what the body is meant to do, meant to serve us. And we serve the body. And so we create a healthy relationship to our bodies, and we see our temperature. And so you will also see that, so usually the temperature before ovulation, so when the temperature goes up, that means you are ovulating, or the woman is ovulating. And before ovulation, in the estrogen phase, the temperature is usually between 36.1 and 36.4 degree. And then after ovulation, the temperature will rise to 36.4, 36.5, 36.6, 30, all the way up to 37. And so I have here this chart. This is from the Natural Fertility Awareness Justice Method. So here this is like a chart where then you see there's a blue line in the middle. There's like the baseline, and then underneath it's before ovulation, and it was underneath 36.24, and then sometimes the temperature went up at the beginning. You see that there's like a circle, and that also shows us that is not that we ovulated, but we know maybe I was a little bit sick, or there's some imbalance there. So the temperature can also show me actually how my health is, including the mucus does that as well, because the discharge changes in color and smell, etc. So basically on day, like it doesn't say the day here, but then you see there's a dot, and then suddenly the line goes up and is above 36.6, and it goes to 36.7, 8, and it goes all the way, and then it stays up. And then we know, like, this person has ovulated, and then after 3 days, after 3 times the temperature has been higher, and then in the evening we know we come into the infertile phase. And so this is, we take the temperature every day at the same time, and the best is to take it either orally or vaginally. Yeah. So you may not like start this right away, but it's planting seeds and maybe sparking your interest or curious. I wonder, is anyone here who is taking their temperature? Anyone doing it? Because it is a ritual to take this temperature every day. It's quite a commitment, and it's also like maybe you are more interested in doing it when you're in a relationship. Not yet. Yeah, that's totally fine. Philippa says I used to. Yeah, because like you're also married, and so. Okay, do you recommend tracking even if we have infertility for 5+ years with the partner? I used to track and stopped. I even have a temp drop. I'm open to it, just not for trying to conceive. Well, I would ask this question to Disa. So when she comes, I hope she comes, but I will also have another session with her anyway, and then let's ask her this question. She's the expert. I don't want to say something I'm not 100% sure. If anyone knows, you're welcome to share your knowledge in regard. No, but I'm checking my mucus, and I'm open to learning. Would be so happy to hear the conversation with you and Disa. Yes, beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing. Liquid says not yet. Tang said I'm menopausal now, but I used to use mucus method for all adult life. Yeah, beautiful. Congratulations to the menopause. Yeah, like usually, like what I remember Disa saying, we would take the temperature until we are coming to menopause. Once we're in a menopause, we don't take the temperature anymore, but because then we're not fertile anymore either. So Tang says 2 successful pregnancy and babies. Congratulations, how wonderful. So beautiful, the mother. And Erle says, been wishing to get into it. Just been counting days and checking mucus this far. Yeah, even checking mucus is amazing. Like, it's so wonderful. And with that, we already know a lot, actually. Like, we're going to go into the mucus. Like, the color of the mucus, the length of the mucus, all of that really also tells us if we're fertile or infertile. I'm thinking I'm in premenopause. A little strange. Let's see, 6 months without moon. Yeah, very possible. And I know so many women now that are menopause, coming into menopause and premenopause way earlier than we used to. Like I have women in their 45, it's some even in their 40s, 45, 47, 50. And it's very common now that we are entering menopause earlier than it used to be like that. It used to be. Mariana says, not yet, I have an IUD. Still facing some resistance to let it go. Yeah. So that's important to honor. And then when you're ready, you can really feel into it and see what makes you want to also maybe let it go, what makes you want it to keep it. It's really important to get support. We don't need to do this alone. Yes. Okay, wonderful. So let's go into the mantra. So basically, step number 4 is the temperature. And so this now applies for those that have still the period. And then we'll ask Disa what happens after, if she would recommend it also to do or not. And then if you're a man, then maybe you want to support your woman to do it. So it also becomes a ritual. Right? And especially when you actually want to get pregnant, like it's really beautiful. Then you both like are excited and you can see when the temperature went up and now she's ovulating and now it's like, woohoo, we're gonna go for it. Right? And so that becomes a ritual. You definitely, if you want to get pregnant, you want to make the whole ritual out of it. Like there's so many beautiful rites of passage that we do in the Vedic tradition. Like the moment you decide to become pregnant, you want to have a baby, you do a ritual, you invoke the blessings of the stars and the moon, and you'll ask the jiva, the being to come that is meant for you, and you do purification rituals, the woman's body or man's body, You do different Ayurvedic rituals like panchakarma to really prepare your body that your semen is strong and your egg is strong and most healthy. So you prepare yourself a year ahead, really, or even more. And you, I mean the body, and you also the being and emotionally. So that, because it's the biggest initiation to become a mother, a father. And so, if you want to support with that, I've supported many people through their helping become pregnant. I have quite a few people that I help to become pregnant, and also help them through the process. And there are so many women that then are really expert and also help through the whole birthing process, like in terms of ecstatic birthing, like Louisa, she's incredible in that. So basically checking the temperature, and the mantra is this one. So you can repeat after me. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. And so Om, O is always long. Om, O is 2 matra. Om, silence. That's the length phonetically of the Om, the sound syllable, seed syllable, the bijasya, sarvasya bijasya, the seed of all seeds is Om. And this is the length. Om, Om. That's the correct length of the Om. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Parvatyai Namaha. So you see a long line on the A, makes it A, dirgha A, long A, Parvat. And then you put the tongue on the Ta, because the Ta and the Ya is preceded by a short A, so the Ta becomes a little bit longer. Parvatyai Namaha. Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Samagriva Shira Shariraha. Head, neck, spine, head, align, relaxing. Belly relax, and then chant from your root. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. 3 more times. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. Om Parvatyai Namaha. So this is wonderful to chant while you're taking the temperature, because the temperature, you get to take the temperature for 3 minutes. Like those old temperature that you put in the mouth and in the vaginal canal. I don't really like to call her vagina because of different reasons. It means the sheath of a sword. It's not so sexy. But yeah, the entrance of our sacred parts, the temple. So 3 minutes, it stays there. And then there are also the electric, you call them electric, the other temperature that you can put, and then they beep. And so Disa says that they are not as accurate, but you can use them. And then it goes quick. So if you take the old method, it's 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes of Om Parvatyai Namaha to chant. You're chanting it probably like 48 times or so. So that's very auspicious, like honoring that moment before the step 5 that we're going to see tomorrow, after having sanctified your action. And here we are invoking the goddess Parvati. Who is Parvati? She is the goddess of the mountains. She is the consort of Shiva. She is the great mother, the mother of all mother, the mother that cannot fail, will not fail. She who loves unconditionally is Parvati. And so, like in this way also, when we are chanting, we're invoking the blessing and all her qualities. Yeah, and her qualities then become my qualities. So I'm embodying this woman. Or if you're like a man and you want to chant this, you can also chant this mantra. Like you're invoking and calling in the healthy feminine side in you, the healthy female role model in yourself, or also in your surrounding. Like she who loves unconditionally, she who is not in controlling everyone around her. Like it's the toxic feminine that controls everyone, manipulates everyone. Like she's in a lot of pain, so we get to have a lot of compassion. So in this way, we're invoking she who is non-manipulative, she who is love, she who cares, and we can do that in the morning before getting out of the bed. So if you don't want to chant and the Sanskrit is not your thing, then you can say it in English. And you can simply say, in my temperature, I invoke the goddess. Or in my temperature, I invoke that which is sacred. And whatever word that you feel you resonate and connect with, that represents the grace factor, the unseen factor. So you can say that, you can translate it into your own mother tongue. And then the mudra that I suggest, the mudra means the gesture like that we're doing while you're taking the temperature. So it's a beautiful meditation that you're doing. So the yoni mudra, there are different versions of the yoni mudra. The most simplest one is this one. This is the most simplest one. Like it's a downward facing triangle. It's like a vulva shape, like you have on the sides the ovaries, and then down here would be the sacred part of the temple. And so you can then place this yoni mudra, and there are other ones, like this would also be a yoni mudra. Yeah, and then this is a little bit a more complicated one. So I should suggest maybe this one, and then you place it underneath your belly button. And you just place the hands over your womb, or the energetic place of your womb. If you're a man, you don't have a womb, and you also want to do it, you can do it. So you get in touch with the infinite great mother that is also in you, and to invoke that creative force in yourself and the vessel, like something maybe that you want to birth. And so you're also creating your own womb, like your own nest for something to be birthed. So no matter the gender, we can do this mudra, this gesture, and you place it underneath the belly button. And then you chant Om Parvatyai Namaha, Om Parvatyai Namaha, Om Parvatyai Namaha. So beautiful. In this way, you also connect to your most sacred part. You connect to the infinite womb of this universe, and invoke the health. Like the temperature also represents the health. It represents also the ability to conceive and to create, and the reproductive system. And it doesn't mean only like a baby. It can also then, if you want to do it as a man, for example, you relate to the cosmic womb and to your reproductive capacity to create, because we all are creator. Right? The male or masculine aspect of creation is Brahma, and then the feminine would be Saraswati. And so we all have the creative force in us, as us. And so if you want to connect to that, you can also do this mudra and chant Om Parvatyai Namaha. So, any questions? How does that land in you? How do you resonate with this? Any comments? What comes up for you? Love to hear from you before we conclude our day 4. And welcome all those that have joined in the meantime. It's so wonderful to be here with you. Okay, I'm just seeing a lot of hearts. Sending the hearts back to you. Thank you, thanks. Nature Rach said, amazing. I cannot wait to share with my sister who is trying to become pregnant. Wonderful. Yes. You can teach her the mudra. You can teach her the mantra, and then also about like those connecting to the temperature. Like it's all the goddess in the form of the temperature, the goddess in the form of the mucus, neutralizing all shame and preparing the womb for the baby. And then there's specific also cleansing that we can do. Liquid Cosmos says, so beautiful. I'm happy to hear that. When Carl says, I like that you relate sexual force to creativity in any form. Absolutely. Sexual force is the one because we are here and all creativity comes from that force. And crucial to sanctify. We go from the profane to the sacred. That is why we ritualize our life. So we see there's nothing profane in this world. Kate says, the more complex mantra is shared in Maya Tiwari's book, Paths of Practice, I think. Beautiful. The more complex mantra is shared in Maya Tiwari's book, Paths of Practice, I think. Yeah, please share it with me. Maybe I know, maybe not. Yeah, I tried to, like this one, like the one yesterday was a little bit more difficult and the ones are more easy, so it's not too complicated for us to do. But please share. The mudra, I mean. Yeah, the mudra. You mean the more complex one. Yeah, so if you want to learn it, you do like this. So you have the fingers together, and then you cross the ring finger, cross the small finger, and then, this is a little bit complicated now, so you cross so then the middle finger stays together, and then the index finger you open. No, now I did wrong. So, okay, one more time. Clear, again. Like this. So the small finger goes down, and then the index finger pulls the ring finger. So basically, small finger go down, middle finger stay up, and then the ring finger, they cross behind, and then the index finger pulls the ring finger down, like this. And then the thumbs go in the middle. And then it looks like this. So it's very beautiful mudra. It's like here you have the vaginal canal, the cervix, and then the ovaries, the sacred tubes. Very beautiful mudra. Yeah. Katarina says, today I'm with ACEW kids at home. And when they going sleep, I will go again and listen. Send you a lot of love. Yes. Sending love to your kids. Theo, I love the idea of generating creative energy as someone who is not trying to conceive and in a sacred relationship with a person with yoni. Yes, absolutely. Right? We want to create our energy. Exactly, so we can do that, even though we don't want to have a baby, but we're generating energy and we are conceiving the world, conceiving our ideas, conceiving our visions, and then birthing that into the universe. Erin, hello. Wonder of wonders. We'll share with my daughters. Yes. Yes, yes. Kate, I have to go. Yes, much love. So cool. Wow, mudra, cool. Yes. Okay, thank you so much for today. And have a wonderful day. Happy practicing. And yes, please share in the comments. I'm going to post this video and also the slides and how it is to practice, what comes up, your questions, and invite your friends and family. We still have 35 days to go. We can do it.